What is currently in its golden age, but not enough people know about it? Astronomy is currently experiencing a golden age. It has changed radically in the last 30-ish years. Think on this: if you are 30 plus years old, you were born into a world that wasn't sure if planetary systems were rare or common. We now know that nearly all stars are likely to have planets. We know of 5,000 plus exoplanets. Mars was not considered a place we could find signs of life by most. The generation of spacecraft exploring Mars since the year 2000 changed that. Now some argue that discovering signs of past life on Mars is a matter of when, not if. We found multiple worlds in our solar system with liquid water oceans. This is just scratching the surface. New technologies like JWST promise to keep the momentum for the foreseeable future. Board games have been having a great run for the past 10 years, tons of amazing games coming out every year. Home TVs. The sort of hardware you can get for even $300 is absolutely absurd compared to what the 1980s through 2000s knew. Keyboards, both synthesizers and mechanical. It's possible to get a synth that sounds identical to a $5,000 Mini Moog for $200 and a decent mechanical keyboard for less than that. Paleontology. So much tech bringing new stuff to light. Dietary options. No matter what issue you have, there's a pantry full of food that will meet that restriction and taste good. Compare a keto diet from 1999 to now. It's unreal. Playing guitar and recording music. You can buy a quality guitar online for crazy cheap now, and some pro recording software out there is free. Batteries. From needing a plethora C&D batteries or a power adapter for nearly anything that couldn't fit in your pocket, which needed several AAAS2, no more than 20 years ago, to earbuds that last days with batteries the size of a Tic Tac, or even cars that can go hundreds of miles on battery power alone. Honestly, don't think it's given enough credit how far we've come in the past 20 years with energy storage. Tabletop RPGs. Also, while it's perhaps more of a silver age compared to the 90s early 2000s, JRPGs are having a hell of a comeback. Podcasts, long-form storytelling, interviews, investigative journalism on so many topics, new and old. Great form of education, entertainment, and everything in between. Well, it's already over now, but most content on the internet being made by humans. I'll really miss the internet from 2000 to +/2020. Unfortunately, scams. Technology has made it easy and cheap to pull off. People are lonelier, and mental health concerns sometimes make people more vulnerable to these scams. And finally, the archaic law enforcement structure isn't set up to go after them, so there's virtually no punishment for doing it. Watch out, fam. Carbonated water. Cooking. I'm 30 now, and it's so easy to find amazing recipes, good cooking supplies, and with so much information I can save money on food in so many ways. Literally, YouTube is teaching me to make so many great things. Self-directed learning. There is nothing I can't find a tutorial for these days. And on top of that, I'm finding AI to be an excellent complement as a fairly decent tutor. Age of Empires 2, this ancient game that came out in 1999 just got another DLC and is currently in the midst of its biggest tournament to date, Hidden Cup. Golden age of subscriptions. Documentaries. So many good ones, available through so many online outlets. Miniatures. There's no shortage of places to get awesome miniatures for basically anything you want. It's clearly the golden age of butt stuff. Well, for me it is anyway. Women's professional wrestling. Horror movies. They suddenly got way better around 10 years ago when movies like It Follows, The Witch and The Babadook came out. Not something you'd notice if you're not into the genre. Edit, just to clarify, I mean they suddenly got way better than 90s/00s horror. I'd also consider the 80s a golden age for the genre as well. The 70s definitely had its heavy hitters too, but nothing in terms the sheer numbers you see in the 80s and the last 10 years. Craft beer. Information. Never before have we had such a vast amount of information freely available to us, and so easy as well. We just need to make sure we keep it that way. Internal combustion sports cars. The golden age of horsepower. Hockey is pretty awesome right now. I don't know if it's a golden age, but we're in a damn solid renaissance of horror movies, and it's been going for years. They are some of the only good movies that get made nowadays. Your grandparents. Enjoy them while they're still around. Dungeons and Dragons. Genetics. Now that we have a variety of very powerful sequencing technologies, combined with equally powerful analysis tools, the amount of information we can glean from a tiny sample is incredible. Meanwhile, techniques like CRISPR have opened a lot of doors for precision genome editing, and this is even being implemented in some treatments for genetic conditions. I hope we continue in this trajectory, but if they become more common, it is likely inevitable that some will see an opportunity to abuse them. Very niche, but DJ tech. Newer and better controllers have come out every year for the last 15 years. About 10 years ago they figured out how to get DJ software to enable a DJ to change the tempo of a song without changing the pitch. This was a massive breakthrough that makes a whole world of things possible. Just in the past 3 months or so, they have figured out how to get software to enable DJs to do what many have long considered to be the holy grail of DJ abilities: isolate the drums, bass, vocals, and other sounds from any track. This is called stems. Until now you would need separate instrumental or a cappella versions of a song to do this. These are not available for most songs, and even when they are, instrumental tracks always have all of the instruments, not just one. There's been no easy way to get an isolated drum track or bass track or other instrument track for most songs unless the song happens to have a moment where the instrument plays alone that you can loop, which does not happen in 99.9% of songs. With stems, you can take any song and push a button to isolate the various parts of the song. This opens up incredible possibilities for creating mashups and remixes on the fly. Cooking. The availability of ingredients from around the world, the body of knowledge is expanding. More people are baking their own bread, making yogurt, processing their own foods. Children not dying of preventable diseases. Less children died in raw numbers in 2023 than in 1924 despite the massive population increase. Beer. The craft beer explosion started in the late 90s and we have probably reached the peak at this point. Yes, a lot of people will complain about the over-availability of IPAs. But there have never been more breweries, and there has never been more variety, and there has never been such good quality. And we're still in the phase where there are decent local independently owned beer. The corporations are putting up a good fight though. Propaganda. Retro gaming. There are so many ways to play any pre-PS2 game on original hardware or through emulation. And hobbyists pumping out fan translations of JRPGs for English-speaking enthusiasts. I have played so many quality games the last few years that were literally inaccessible not long ago. Golden Age of Insanity. Audiobooks, holy shit, they are amazing now. And there are so many niche books getting audio versions as well. Modular synthesis. So many companies making odd little devices. People are making bleeps and bloops with the ease previously reserved for banging and thumping. Smoking dope in Canada at least, the new products, easy access, cheap, it's good to be a stoner right now. Hopefully USA joining the party soon. The next 5 to 10 years be the golden age as new stuff comes out and the black market keeps prices down. Then prices will rise and a couple big dogs will reign supreme.